Where you going with this? Who you controlling with this? You think you got some nerve? Boy, say word. Cause I'm flowing with this. I think I'm growing with this. I think you knowing with this. I'm gonna show 'em with this. Hey, you guys, it's your girl Taisha P back at you again with another podcast style episode of Trusted Transformation Station. I'm so glad you decided to tune in today. Here at Trusted Transformation, we believe that every day is an opportunity for evolution. And I just wanted to come on once again and just share with you guys my thoughts on another lovely day, enjoying this beautiful weather as we transition into the summer season soon. So, what's on my heart today to discuss is the one thing you should never do when building a personal brand. And this could be as a creative, this could be as just you as an individual, whatever you want to represent to the world. One thing you should never do, and something that I've learned over time in my journey, is that I did this a lot and I finally put my foot down, and it feels so liberating. It feels so good. It feels so freeing. And that is simply not asking for permission. Not asking for permission, not overthinking it, not worrying too much, not thinking too hard, but just enjoying the process of your creative expression and flowing with that, and letting the people that are meant to find you come towards you. A lot of us as creatives, especially now in the days of social media and likes and algorithms and comments and shares and DMs, brand partnerships, sponsorships, affiliate marketing, all these different ways that people are trying to essentially get on and boost their credibility for what they are, who they are, what they represent, who's their audience, so on and so forth. We get lost in trying to fit this cookie cutter image that many of us reject who we are at our core, trying to look like what somebody else is to replicate their success. I remember I had a conversation once with someone when I went to a networking event, and they were telling me how they're creating a baby clothing line with their friend, and they're struggling to come up with different ideas for their brand. And of course, as a true marketer, I understand the process because I do it every day of competitive analysis. And that's simply looking at similar people within your niche or brands within your niche that have similar offerings, and how you can see what's performing well for them, or what you may not be doing that they're doing that's doing well, or that you have realized is a missed opportunity that you can now fill in the gaps and now find a way how to do that same thing but in your own unique way. And she just was telling me how much she was watching and looking at other baby clothing lines or baby brands, period, and trying to replicate their content. And I said, what's the biggest thing that you're struggling with in doing that? And she's like, honestly, just the element of finding what makes us unique. It just seems like it's oversaturated. Everybody's doing this. How to go about this is something that's difficult for me. And I said to her, I said, the reason why it's difficult, and it was like a revelation moment even to myself. The reason why it's difficult is because you're trying to replicate everybody else. You're trying to literally duplicate what all these other brands that you're looking at have done. And that is where it's going to be hard because you don't really know the story, and they also have to make a move first for you to then decide how you're going to move. And when you're establishing yourself as an authority, a thought leader, a new brand, a place where people should be gravitating towards for your individual, unique, specialized offerings, putting yourself in a box only takes away from that unique essence and makes you like everybody else, and essentially makes you less desirable, because people will say then, I'm just going to go to the person then that has the more notoriety, that has the more experience, that is more recognizable. And I'm going to keep an eye out, maybe, maybe not, but I'd rather just stay safe with what I know does well. And that's the thing where people realize that their sweets, like their sweet spot, their sweet sauce is in the uniqueness, is in the authenticity of your individual story or your brand's specific story. When you sit here and try to water it down to replicate somebody that has already established their brand and their audience to the T, it falls flat because we don't know who you are. We just see you through that lens, and it comes off forced. It comes off over the top. It comes off too much. I love to always talk about music as a reference point, but I think that's why also, in a way, it works with how we see the female rap game emerging to now being something that is more in the forefront than the men, of how they all kind of have a similar sound as far as the messaging, but it also is what makes a lot of them get hot really fast and then fall off, because it's like everybody's replicating the same ideologies, the same sounds, the same look. Even outside of the music industry, just people in general, you go on social media, oh my goodness, it's so boring on there. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, and no tea, no shade to anybody that I follow on Instagram, but the more I spend off of Instagram and then I come back on Instagram, I'm like, you guys are boring as hell. Like, everybody looks the same. I swear to you, one time, and this was like the sign of the fall. This was the sign of the fall for me. I legitimately watched 5 people's stories in a row. And I don't even remember if this was like a holiday or anything. I just remember watching 5 people's stories in a row. I'm not exaggerating. And I obviously follow more than 5 people. Every single person back to back to back was recording themselves in a club or a lounge type of setting, smoking hookah, drinking, and just partying. And there's nothing wrong with that, to each his own. That's not even what the thing is. But it was like, are we all living the same life to this level where I can watch 5 different people that I'm pretty sure do not know each other doing the same exact thing? This is all we have to offer? This is what makes us cool? I'm like, nah. Y'all kidding me. And these are the people, when you go into their profiles, man, the marketer in me is turning up. Maybe I need to, because I'm just so frustrated with it. I'm like, you're sitting here saying you want to be, a lawyer. I'm making it up, but these are the people. I want to be a lawyer, but your Instagram shows that you be in a club turning up, but you're trying to promote that you a lawyer. That doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. Why aren't you sharing what makes you a lawyer? And you could say every once in a while, I'm a lawyer that I be on my grind, but I still know how to have fun. That's one thing. But it's another thing to make who you're trying to present yourself to be as your personal brand. It's one thing to do that on the surface level, because at the end of the day, not everybody's gonna necessarily watch your story or any part of your profile for that most part, but your profile page is where we see you. That's where we're gonna see you, because you don't, unless you delete the post or archive the post, it's there. That's what we see at first glance. So at first glance, if you're saying I'm such and such, but then when the content is like just sporadic and doesn't really make any sense to who you say you're trying to be, it falls flat. It's boring. You may get likes, but it doesn't push the needle. It doesn't make you interesting. It doesn't make you engaging. It just makes you look like everybody else. And I'm like, why would you want to do that? Why would you sell yourself so short? Why would you want to position yourself as a leader that has to be led through what you think is cool to share your quote unquote unique self? That doesn't add up. And it really does take it away from who you say you are. And I had to realize that within myself. When I came back on Instagram recently, when you hear this episode, it'll probably be some time after I did that. I did a complete overhaul of what I felt resonated with me in this season and what I felt needed to go. So pictures that I felt looked like the old me, the me that was chasing the algorithm, the me that was chasing the appearance of a certain thing, the me that was trying to fit in and do what everybody else was doing on Instagram. I archived those. I was like, I'm not going to delete them because I do love these pictures. And maybe at some point, because some of them, the quality was top notch. I ain't going to flex. Some of them, the quality was good. But I just felt like for where I am, I didn't want them there. Not right now. Maybe at some point in the future. Maybe not. I'm not pressed about it either way, because I'm transitioning into really taking my personal brand serious. I want when people come across my content, especially when it has to do with leveraging visual content. I know right now I'm doing these podcast episodes, but trust me, this is me just building the foundation for a whole universe that my audience will say, wow, this girl is really inspirational. She's motivational. She's living what she talks about. And she started from the foundation where these are the episodes where you guys are really going to get an insight and an in-depth, overview of my mind and how my mind works. And especially if you're a creative, if you read between the lines, if you listen and you take the gems that work for you, you're going to be able to transform your own self in your own life and really be able to create the version of you that is able to have a powerful personal brand that people are like, wow, I want to be a part of this. And that is what I'm starting to do now in learning how to use what I know best and what I do every day. I work on content every day. And I had to realize, why am I sitting here trying to build a personal brand around stuff that is not my personal brand? I could show different elements and facets to me for sure that all kind of come together and weave together to make this beautiful quilt of my creativity. But don't sit here and just throw stuff like spaghetti on the wall to see if it sticks. when you know what works for you. My creativity is what works for me. So I'm like, I have to position that more. I'm an artist and I'm a writer. This is what literally gets me paid. This is what literally has gotten me interviews. Why are you going to sit here and hide behind that just to look cool on Instagram, where these are the people that have 6 posts up and it's just like, whatever, it's boring. Like, there's some people that their lives live on their story feed, and I love that for them, but they're not trying to build a business out of this. They're not trying to build a community out of this. They just want to use the internet for fun. So why are you copying their strategy? I've really had to wake up and realize that. Why are you copying the strategy of people that are not looking to leverage the internet like you are? For the past, I want to say, I got my first official marketing job in 2021. So for the past 4 years, I have only, when I tell you, excuse me, I have only used the internet to make money. And for the past 3 years, I have only used my personal devices, meaning I'm not going to an office anymore. After 2021, I have not seen an office to make money. So that being said, I have dedicated myself to the internet being how I create my source of wealth. And I understand tools and tips and tricks that I need to showcase more, that the average Joe may not have. Because that's what makes me special. That's what makes me unique. That's what makes me interesting. But sitting here trying to look like everybody else on Instagram, just posting whatever, they get a little bit of attention for this, so they posting that. They get a little bit of attention for this, they posting that, and they're just all over the place, scatterbrain. That's not where I'm at. I'm curating a universe here. And I'm creating a community here for creatives to really feel free and stand in their authenticity. And I had to learn that's what I got to do. I can't be sitting here looking like everybody else, walking like everybody else, talking like everybody else. That's killing the personal brand. And if that's what you find yourself doing, please, 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 please do an inventory on who and what you are trying to represent and who you are trying to connect with. Because if you're trying to connect with everyone, you will connect with no one. It's okay to niche down. It's okay to be specific. Because if your brand grows to a certain level, people that are outside of your target audience will be attracted to you anyways. It's about reeling in that person that looks just like you that you're trying to get. Or maybe they don't even look like you, but you get the point. They have that mindset, they have that vision, they have that desire that you're trying to position yourself as. But also, you have fixated in your mind that this is who I am, to the point where people that just resonate with that, they will find you. They will find you. I'm not sitting here stressing about no views and no this and no that, because I know there's going to be that one moment. There's going to be that one person. There's going to be that one opportunity, that one moment. There's going to be that one. So you don't have to sit here and try to replicate what other people that ain't on what you on are doing. Not only is that boring, it's pointless. Not only is that boring, it makes you look like a follower. It makes you look like you live on autopilot. It makes you look like you don't have thoughts of your own. And then this is the other thing. If you're trying to build a personal brand in one direction, but you also are posting stuff that seemingly mismatch the energy or contradict it, you will look confused. That's another thing. You will look like you don't know who you are, where you're going, what's going on. You'll look like you're just really just floating with the wind and just doing whatever, trying to chase a check. Because at the end of the day, most people today know if you're really trying to build in a certain way on social media, we start to notice the patterns of the content and what you're talking about and what you're doing. People know when you're trying to get a check now. Ain't no shame in it. I'm trying to get a check. I'm here for the people trying to get their check. Because one of my favorite people I watch on YouTube, they said, and it stuck with me, use the internet, don't let it use you. So people that's out here trying to get a check, they already on another level. Because they already understand that people are changing their lives and the lives of people around them simply by leveraging this one tool that everybody has access to, but not everybody has the discipline to stay consistent to get to a certain level where they have the ability to make a certain amount of money and do certain things. Not everybody has that level of dedication and consistency like that. But if you do, I implore you, I motivate you to really take that quote with you. Use the internet. Don't let it use you. Don't sit here trying to be everybody and their grandmother. Don't sit here and try to look like this person and that person. Because it don't hit. What's going to hit is when people can see that you're really trying to make sense of who you are. And it flows naturally and organically. And you want to let people into that world. You don't make an impact by looking like and sounding like everybody else. That's the quickest way to actually lose your essence. And to just honestly be another one within the crowd. I'm not sitting here saying you got to be wilding out. I'm not sitting here saying you got to be doing something that's over the top. But make it consistent to the message. Make it consistent to who you are. Let people really see that I am not like everybody else. And you don't got to be big-headed about it. You don't got to be super, over the top about it. You don't got to make it be so that people feel like you're trying to force your ideologies on them. But what you absolutely can do, is shine a light on who you are so that people want to know more of that. So that people want to be engulfed in that world. One thing I look back and notice about any leader, especially leaders that I respect growing up, is that they never tried to look like anybody else. They never tried to sound like anybody else. And even if they were influenced, because you're bound to be influenced. This world is inspirational. This world has so much that you can look up to, good and bad. So I get it. But you don't have to say, this is me now, and I'm going to put on exactly who that person has been so I can be that person too. That's boring. We all have something special and unique to add. We all have something special and unique to level up what's going on around us. We all. Don't just sit here and look like everybody else and talk like everybody else and walk like everybody else. Not when you got something within you that the world deserves to see shine brightly. Not when you have so much that has shaped you and has literally curated who you are as a person. Don't put yourself in a box like that. Just really learn to appreciate all that you are, because you're golden. And the world deserves more originality and individuality that shines to inspire. So that's all I had to say. I know this today was a low key. How many times did I say that? Today was a good old rant. Okay. But I had to get that off my chest because I'm like, this is the worst thing creatives are doing. And creatives need to get out of our heads and get into our bag. Okay. There's somebody that wants your special gifts. Stop hiding it from them and give them an opportunity to support you. Anyways, I hope you found a gem in this message that inspires you to do something different, to take on with you for the rest of your day and for the rest of your life, and to really impact the world on a greater level because you have it within you. It's your girl Taisha P, signing out. Later, y'all.